Hello, my little acorn crop. I thought today that we would do the witch tag. And I know you're saying, but skullarix, you are not a witch, and you would be right. However, I think some of these questions are pertinent. So the first one, of course, is what kind of witch are you? Which witch is which? No, I would say, I don't know, I would say a hedge witch or traditional. Only traditional because I like tradition, I like researching. How did I discover my path? Well, I was Christian when I met my waffle, and he told me that he didn't care if I became Wiccan, but he wanted me to at least understand the path and not think that it was evil. So I started going to his coven's classes, and I was sitting at a stoplight one day just pondering things, and I thought to myself that I would be going to hell because I wasn't sorry for any of my sins. And yeah, that was kind of a disturbing thought. And then I thought, well, gee, you know, Wicca's kind of like what I already believe anyway, so why don't I explore that a little further? How long have I been practicing? Well, I was Wiccan for about 6 months, and I've been a Druid for 18 or 19 years. Am I solitary or do I have a coven? Well, I don't have a coven, but I do have a grove, which it differs from a coven because a grove is more like your traditional religious setup. So you have a priest and a congregation. It's a little more like that, a little bit, but not quite. And then I also feel like I am solitary because then I do things at home for myself that I don't do a public ritual. And I guess that's what I mean about we're kind of like we have a congregation because we do public ritual. And like I had said in a different video, we had done public ritual, every single ritual. We didn't miss any for 10 years or more. So until recently when we were like, yeah, fuck it, we're not doing this anymore. Long answer. Do I practice divination? What techniques do I like? So I do practice divination, and I use runes. I can use Ogham. I am pretty rusty with tarot, and my favorite method is to look at the black mirror, or what do they call it? Scrying with the black mirror. Would I teach my practices to my children? Absolutely. I think I would teach them my practices, but I wouldn't force them to be any religion. Do I have a patron or matron deity? Yes. Do I have a favorite pantheon? Well, they all have good points and bad points, but I would probably say the Celtic pantheon. Favorite goddess? I'm afraid because this might get me hurt. But if I was to pick, I would say Bridget, because she's the goddess of poetry, smithcraft, and healing, and she's very clever. Favorite god? I would stick with Lou of the long arm. Sun sign? Not a clue. Moon sign? Not a clue. If either one of those are my sign, I'm an Aquarian. I have a familiar. I used to, which is typically like an animal helper, and my animal helper before was my horse, but he has passed away. At least that horse has. My thoughts on the afterlife. Well, in typical Celtic fashion, I believe when I die, I go to the other world, and there I will get to meet and feast and carouse with my ancestors until I'm reborn here. However, I am intrigued by the Pennsylvania Dutch idea that the soul is taken to Frauhola's mill and milled down. So I like the concept that the soul degrades, and that would explain why you don't have the same souls over and over and over again, and why it seems like, and what I mean by that is, you know, you don't have the, like, this person is never going to exist again. When I die, I become something else, and I don't remember necessarily what happened in this life. So I think the milling of the soul explains that, you know, that it's kind of disassembled and reassembled into something new. Now, this may take a long time, or this may happen immediately upon death. I don't know exactly, but I do hope that when I die, I get to see my ancestors. And I'm pretty sure I will. I'm pretty sure that that's how it works, is you do at least get to see your dead ancestors or your dead loved ones. Have I had any paranormal experiences? I did include a video of my, what did I call it, the late and cheesy ghost stories. So I have had some paranormal experiences. Am I in the broom closet? What closet? There wasn't a closet. I was pretty much out from the minute I decided to become pagan. Now, I don't advertise, so I don't run around work going, I'm a pagan. But if somebody was to ask me, I would tell them that yes, that I am pagan. Something that inspires me. Is it something? Something. I think nature. I think if I was to get real specific, I really love the sky where we're moving. That I find very inspirational. Do I have an altar? I actually have 2. Well, no. 3? I have 3. I have 1 at work and 2 at home. What's a spell that I've done? Well, I don't do spells very often. But one that I did as part of a public ritual was a prosperity spell. And it's supposed to bring, you know, money into your life. Well, my car got stolen that night. But at the same time, we didn't get a payout from the insurance company because the vehicle was recovered before we could get that payout. So I didn't actually get the money either. So I took this as the universe being like, hey, you're being too greedy, so we're going to take something away from you. Do I have a totem animal? No. Well, I don't know. Horse or wolf. I guess that would be my totem animal. My favorite pagan holiday to celebrate, of course, Samhain. Do I meditate? Not as often as I should, but yes, I try. Have I gone to a psychic or tarot reader, a Reiki master, or a healer? Well, yes. I've gone to a tarot... No. I had a friend of mine read my runes, some witch books that influenced me. Okay, well, we're going to go on the witch topic. So, The Witch's Bible by Stuart and Janet Farrar is very, very good. And I highly recommend it, and I think I'm on my 5th copy now because I just keep giving it away to people that are like, oh, I'm interested in Wicca. Okay, well, here's the book. The book you should read, the first one. Well, maybe not the first one, but it's definitely something I think every witch should have in their library. My favorite website would be WitchVox, when speaking witch stuff. WitchVox, and I always loved reading Wren's Nest. I'm not even sure if that's on there anymore, but I like going through the website. There's some interesting stuff there. My favorite witch movie, The Craft. Or I also like Practical Magic. I think that one's pretty cool too. Or, yeah, those are probably my go-tos. My favorite mythological animal would have to be either a centaur or a minotaur. My favorite season is fall. My favorite herb is rosemary. I think it's smells really good, and it's supposed to be very calming and help with memory. My favorite gem will probably be garnet or quartz crystals. The rune of my choice, of course, Gebo. Hello, the gift rune? Of course. Tarot card of my choice. I would say the death card, but at the same time, it means change. And I don't necessarily like change. Symbol or sigil of my choice. I don't really have anything. Sorry. My Athame or the Athame that I want. Well, in my practice, I don't really use Athames. And to be perfectly honest, I don't even know where the quote-unquote Athame that I had is, so I can't show that to you. I guess if I was going to have one, I would have one that's got a what do you call it, a wavy blade. My wand, or one that I want. I don't have a wand, but if you've ever seen Willow, the wand of Finrazel, which is this, like, it's a stick that's all wavy and gnarly. I don't know what's going on with this wavy kind of wanting wavy knives and wavy sticks, but yeah, the wand of Finrazel is the one that I would totally want. In fact, when I was a kid, oh no, I was more than a kid, I was in high school, my friend and I, when we would go riding out of her place, they had these trees that had these gnarly kind of serpentine roots and stuff, and so periodically we'd pick up one and be like, Finrazel's wand! My cauldron. I have a replica of the Gunderstruck cauldron, which I got from Sacred Source, and I'll insert a picture. My Book of Shadows is pretty much my journal. That's pretty much it. I have a journal, and I write stuff down in it. And I write down stuff that is important, so my favorite tarot deck would be the Shakespearean Tarot. It's the one that I learned on, so it's the one I usually use. I also like the Lord of the Rings Tarot. It's something witch related that I want now. Well, what I would really love to have is a skull, and it could be a replica. It doesn't have to be an actual skull, because that's got a lot of responsibility and potential, I hate to say karma, but potential karmatic baggage. But a replica or a real skull that has mirrors in the eyes, but black mirrors, like for scrying, because I think that would be really cool to look into a skull's eyeballs while divining. I think that'd be really cool. So it's something I've always kind of wanted. I've never gotten around to even trying to create something like that, but I think it's really cool. So hopefully you know a little bit more about my practice. And as always, good night, America, wherever you are.